Anne Sullivan. Please subscribe to the channel and tap the bell icon to get new video updates. Anne Sullivan was born on April 14, 1866 in Feeding Hills near Springfield, US. Thomas and Anne Sullivan, who moved from Ireland to the United States during the time of the Great Famine, had her as their eldest child. When Sullivan was 5 years old, she developed trachoma, a bacterial eye disease that led to numerous painful infections and eventually made her almost blind. Her mother died of tuberculosis when she was 8 years old, and 2 years later, her father left the kids because he was afraid he would not be able to raise them alone. Annie was educated while attending the Perkins School for the Blind. Sullivan stood out from the other Perkins students due to her life experiences. She was 14 years old and unable to read or even write her name. She did not know how to thread a needle, even though Annie had never gone to school. She was well versed in the way of the world because she had studied a lot about politics, tragedy, and life of Tewkesbury. Annie was an extremely intelligent young woman who quickly filled up the gaps in her academic knowledge. She made connections with a few teachers who know how to approach and push her. In particular, her cottages house mother, Mrs. Sophia Hopkins, was kind and sympathetic. She grew to love Sullivan as a daughter. Her vision significantly improved after undergoing yet another eye operation. She finally had enough vision to read print. On March 3, 1887, she started teaching Helen Keller. Shortly after graduating at the age of 20, Annie was an educational reformer. Her collaboration with Helen Keller resulted in the development of the current standard for teaching blind, deafblind, and kids with visual impairments. She battled with Helen's parents over the Civil War and the history of keeping slaves as soon as she got there. She also struck up a conversation with Helen right away. It was the beginning of a 49 years love. By 1935, Sullivan had gone totally blind, although she had been severely sight handicapped for nearly her entire life. In the Forest Hills neighborhood of Queens, New York, she suffered a coronary thrombosis. On October 15, 1936, went into a coma and passed away 5 days later while Helen Keller was holding her hand. Thank you.